Christians who come on Sunday and say yes.
Right.
And on Tuesday they say no. When your answers change, it's a sign of disobedience. And it's going to cost you the kingdom. I said, what is the kingdom? God's way of doing things. It's going to cost you. My title this morning is The Cost of Disobedience. The cost of disobedience is the second son did not experience the joy that was in fulfilling the Father's heart. He always delayed it. And delayed obedience is sometimes disobedience. Putting it on for next day. Let's look at the first son for a moment. In verse number 28, let's read together. By the way, what was the first son's response? No. Now, was that, I think that was a very honest response by the first son. Don't you think? Yes. I think it was a very honest response by the first son. To say no. Why? Because, beloved, just because the Father says, it's not always easy to obey. Obedience doesn't come easy. That's why there is a reward for obedience. Because you don't get rewards in the Christian life for doing what is easy. If you look at the Gospels of Matthew chapter 5 to 7, Jesus talks about rewards. Somebody shout rewards. Now if you want to be rewarded, many of us are used to awards. Rewards are different to awards. Rewards are heavenly. Rewards are supernatural. Awards are very earthly. But a reward only God can give. Awards, man. Awards come from man. Rewards come from God. And in Matthew chapter 5, Matthew chapter 6, Matthew chapter 7, Jesus says, bless those who curse you and you will have a reward. Pray for your enemies, you will have a reward. Give to those who ask, you will have a reward. Everywhere, beloved, in Matthew's Gospel, 5 to 7 chapter, there are rewards, my precious people of God. Rewards. Rewards for doing what is difficult. So when the father came to the first son, are you hearing me? When the father came to the first son and said, son, do this. The only reason he could have done it is through obedience. But was it easy? I said, congregation, was it easy? That's why his answer was no. Listen, obedience immediately when God tells you to do something, it's not going to be easy. Why? For 3 reasons. Let me give you the 3 reasons quickly. Number 1, it's going to be inconvenient. It's going to be what? Inconvenient. How do we know it's inconvenient? Obedience is inconvenient or inconvenience. Okay, watch this now. The father comes to the first son and says, son, go and work in my vineyard. The father gives no advance notice to the son. You need to talk to me. Am I right? Yes. Did the father send him an email the next day or the previous day? Did the father send him an SMS 2 hours before he requested? I'm waiting for your answer. No, there was no advance notice. See, my precious people of God, obedience is an immediate act. You're not hearing me. Obedience is an immediate act. Abraham, give me your only son. 3 days later, he is at the mountain. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. Some of you have been told by the Lord to do something 22 years ago. And that's why you're suffering today. Because you refuse. You refuse to obey. It didn't come at a convenient time. It came at a very inconvenient time. I remember the day the Lord said, son, full-time ministry is for you. I have called you from your mother's womb. You are you are a chosen vessel. You know there is a difference between a chosen, elected vessel and other vessels. I'm a chosen vessel. So at the age of 29, when I was flourishing in my business, the Lord gets into my business. And I said, none of your business. But God said, son, if it's none of my business, and you don't obey what I'm telling you now, you're going to miss the ship. And this ship is going to sail without you. And you will have to pay the price for disobedience. Son, get on this ship. And it was a very inconvenient time. I had just got married 4 years, 5 years before, and built a business. Money was coming in. And to leave that and get into church for 30,000 rupees and a congregation that was moody. You want me to take that risk? I said no. I lost my sleep for months. Amen. And Pastor Errol said amen. I lost my sleep for months. Until you obey. Yes. The love of God will be after you. Yes. Until you obey, because He knows that's the only thing that's going to work for you. I said that's the only thing that's going to work for you.